Thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical drama. I have found another wonderful actress who's very kindly giving up a little bit of time to talk to me all about her smash hit vertical drama, which recently came out, Bride for the Quarterback, and also just lots more about her acting and vertical drama journey. Christine Oswald, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Jen.
So yes, I'm going to go right back to the beginning. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Are you a country girl? Are you a city girl?
Yeah, I'm originally from New Orleans, so I've always lived in cities. Lived in New Orleans until I was about 9. Then after Hurricane Katrina, my family moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. Spent, middle school, high school there. I started acting from a very young age. My family, they're all kind of actors, but more in the theater space. So I grew up going to my cousin's shows and got on stage as early as I could.
Were you singing and dancing as well, or was it purely acting?
Yeah, musical theater. I actually never thought I would be in the film space.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you went to cousin shows. What about your own shows? Are there any kind of favourite roles that you got to play?
Yeah. Well, I started off working with the Children's Theater of Cincinnati. So that was a nice, professional theater experience for me. And I played lots of fun little roles like elves and fairies and just had a great time. And then, later on in high school in community theater, I got to play Ariel and Footloose, Jan and Grease, do some just really fun classic musicals.
Oh, that's so awesome. I kind of want to go back to elves and fairies now because I'm thinking of the ballet shoes. Like, was there wire work involved or just really cute costumes?
Just really cute costumes. Because I started off, I think, gosh, my first show with them, I was probably like 11. And they did Christmas shows. So I was an elf and a tap dancing reindeer and, a rockette, just like all these fun little dancing characters. It was really fun. So that gave me a big love for performing and kept doing that until I was 18. And then I took like a 6-year break from acting. I went and studied other things.
Did you think that it was a break or was it, I'm going to do very different things?
I didn't think it was a break at all. I decided I am going to get like a practical degree. I loved performing, but I didn't really know if having a career in that was going to be possible.
Mm.
So I studied international relations. I wanted to go more of the State Department route and be a diplomat. So I got my bachelor's degree in international relations and then moved to Brussels, Belgium to do my master's in political strategy and communication. And I really loved it. I got to work and live all over the world, teach English in a couple different countries. Loved it. I ended up working in DC for an international nonprofit during COVID. And I was suddenly working from home and just really, really missed acting. But all of the theaters were closed. So I was like, well, there are some short films and student films. Like, let me try this route. And I ended up just really falling in love with it. I worked at that job for like 5 years. So did that and acting. I'm now full-time acting. And I moved to Atlanta. So I'm not LA based. I'm actually Atlanta based.
That's amazing because it feels like if maybe COVID hadn't happened, your life could be in
Yeah.
a really different direction.
And I hate to say, I know, I mean, obviously COVID was so damaging for so many people. So I
Yeah.
don't want to be like, oh, I'm so happy COVID happened. Of course not. But it did allow me to kind of get back on this path, which I didn't think was ever going to be a possibility for me.
Oh. So for people who don't know, like me, who lives in the UK, what is I guess the legacy of the Atlanta film industry, kind of what things are made there and kind of how is it now and where do verticals fit into that?
Yeah, the Atlanta film industry really kind of, I would say its peak was like a couple years before COVID. Things like The Vampire Diaries filmed there, The Walking Dead, Stranger Things, Marvel's headquarters were here. So there's been a lot filming here. It's slowed down a little bit. I know Marvel moved to the UK. Stranger Things is done.
Sorry.
Walking Dead is done. Yeah, I know.
I apologize.
So it's slowed down a little bit, but there's still a lot happening. Like Chad Powers, I don't know if you've seen that. That's filming here. But there's a lot of verticals happening here as well. Like I've shot verticals in LA and New York, but most of mine have been shot in Atlanta. So it's pretty good work.
So once you were starting to do the sort of the film and TV thing, I guess the first question is, as someone who's doing that, student films, what was the first word on the street you heard about verticals or your first encounter with them?
Well, I saw a friend doing them. Someone that I was friends with on Instagram, she posted and I was like, "Whoa, what is this soap opera style, show?" But I was like, "You know what? Work is work. Let's try it out. Let's see." And I booked my first one back in 2024 with Reelshort, and it was just so much fun. Everybody on set, the cast and the crew, everyone was so professional, and I was kind of blown away. I didn't really expect that. And it's just been, I've been open to it ever since. And I've had some really fun roles and met amazing people.
So that was, I think, was that The Badass Heiress Returns After Death? That was an early
That
one?
was my second one. My first one was The Billionaire's Masquerade.
Oh, yeah, Billionaire's Masquerade. Oh, wow. Yeah, see, that is going back.
Yeah.
Loads of people are big names now as well as yourself. It's kind of cool when you look back over these things.
Yeah, definitely.
So it looks like you kind of moved away for a little bit and sort of you've done other bits as well. If it's okay to ask, have you had the issue of, being union or non-union? Has that been something that's sort of come up, trying to make that decision?
Well, I'm SAG eligible right now. So I haven't reached the point where I'm a must join. And I am going to try to stay SAG-E as long as possible. In Atlanta, there's so much non-union work that it wouldn't really make sense to be SAG for me right now.
Yeah.
And also, the verticals are paying my bills right now, so I wouldn't really want to give up that opportunity.
I mean, you said that you found that the sets were really professional. What kind of acting style, how did you have to change or evolve to suit verticals?
It's definitely different than normal film and TV acting. I kind of think of it more closer to theater acting. It's bigger. They want bigger expressions, more drama. And I do think actually it's evolved from that a little bit. Very much early on, it was big drama, say things with more drama. I guess that's the only word I can really think of. Now I'm getting to act more with a grounded tone in a lot of them, which I really prefer. But when they do want that big acting, especially I see for the supporting characters, sometimes with the leads, they'll let us do a bit more grounded acting. But they want the supporting characters to be very kind of tropey, charactery in a lot of them. And that's definitely, I see theater actors kind of thriving in those roles.
Is that coming from direction then, some of it, as well as the script, where you can see that actually you can bring it down a little bit now, particularly for the leads?
It's coming from direction, and it still really depends on the director. Some of them are very big on the soap opera style, and a lot of people really like it, so can't complain. But it does, you see comments online where they're like, "Oh, it's bad acting, all these actors are bad," and it's like, I mean, for the most part we just know the style. It's just a different style of acting. And if you can adjust to that, I think it requires talent to actually kind of genre hop and adjust your acting style.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's always the key thing is like, I remember from very early on, people like, no, we're told to act like this. Can you get that?
Yeah. I know, vertical actors are always like, I promise, this is the direction.
So yeah, we're particularly talking about Bride for Quarterback, which do you get a sense of like, okay, that's been a big hit? How does that filter through to you as someone who's starring in it?
Yeah, it's definitely, I think, put my name out there a little bit more. I have people reaching out to me. It's gotten reviewed on multiple platforms, which thank you for reviewing it as well. I think people have really liked it. It's still trending on the mydramaapp, which I haven't really had a project that blew up like that. And I'm proud of it because I feel like the story's really good, and I think the acting is grounded, and it's nice to have a project that I really enjoyed making blow up like that.
Because one of the things that I think works really well is we all know in Verticals you get certain stories that are retold a bit.
Mhm.
And there's been various versions of this, but this one like takes the more grounded, like real route
Yeah.
of like how this sort of relationship would develop rather than, you know, some of the, and then they were kidnapped and then this happened and then this happened.
Yes.
And obviously a lovely part is the relationship with your son. Kind of how is it working with a young actor like that? And sort of, because presumably you're thrown together very quickly and suddenly like build a relationship.
Yeah, and some of the kids are really shy because I play a mom a lot, and some of the kids are really shy. Some are so outgoing and they're like, "Set mom, I love you. You're so great." This guy was great. He was very talented. He knew all his lines. He was very sweet but very professional. It's funny because I don't have children. I have cats. But I strangely feel very motherly when I have a set child. And I do like working with the kids.
And then I really wanted to ask you about the script because it feels like the two characters, obviously you're playing Mia and Jared, who's the quarterback, like genuinely do not like each other.
Yeah.
Which I think is both a triumph for the script and the acting, which actually makes it all the more satisfying when they do kind of come to understand each other. Was that your feeling that it wasn't just there was always a bit of a thing? It was like, no, they genuinely don't like each other. Sort of.
I think they genuinely did not like each other because they came from such different backgrounds, and Mia is not looking for love. You know, her focus is her son. Jared, he's not attracted to Mia or, you know, in the beginning, not even looking at that as a possibility. And Austin and I think, understood that. And I'm an enemies to lovers girl. That's my favorite trope, my favorite genre to read. So, and as a reader, I feel like I just get it. You know, I get the enemies to lovers. And it's not satisfying when, you know, when you read an enemies to lovers and they're like enemies for the first couple chapters and then they start to like each other like so early on. That is not satisfying, in my opinion.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, there needs to be like some actual hatred for a good amount of the story for it to then be satisfying when they actually start to fall for each other.
What stage do you think Mia then falls for Jared? When do you think that change starts to happen?
I think the first time she sees some good in him is when he's being kind to her son. Granted, then, you know, it comes out that it's PR and he's trying to make himself look good, but I think she sees a soft spot in him when he's interacting with her son. And to her, her son's the most important thing in the world. And I think that's the first time she looks at him a little bit differently.
And then one of my favourite things is the throwing the ball. It's so good. It's so good. It's like such a clever way of like sort of like team bonding, isn't it? Because there's a whole scene where they're like throwing the football back and forth and kind of answering questions and telling truths.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume you're a brilliant catch, and that was very easy to film.
Yeah, so good, so good. I can actually throw decently.
Yeah.
I cannot catch the ball. I'm scared of it because it hurts, you know, if you catch it wrong. So no, it did take quite a few takes to get those catches.
That's pretty challenging because obviously it's a really important, like, emotional scene.
Yeah,
they're
it is.
revealing so much, and then like, oh, by the way, catch a ball. Here you go.
Yeah, it's emotional, but it's also, I like that there's a little bit of, you know, flirting, a little bit of tongue in cheek here and there, a little cheeky while they're doing it. So, you know, if we drop the ball or something, there's still that sly kind of looking up at each other. And yeah, so it's like a balance of a heavy scene along with some playfulness.
I have to ask as well, this is possibly asking you to give filming secrets away. Did you get to go to kind of any sporting locations for the filming? Were you able to do it all on sort of other places in sleight of hand?
No, we were at a I think it was like a high school football stadium. Like I'm sure you saw some of the back and forth of the CGI, but yeah, it was just like a big high school stadium. They had like a giant locker room, and so all of that was real. And the bleachers, we brought in, you know, a group of cheerleaders, and yeah, some of the guys who were playing the background football guys, they played football. So it was kind of cool.
because that was one of the things I think it also did really well, in that it incorporated a little bit of that kind of CGI, but very subtly, to just enough to give you a flavour, which in a way reminds me of theatre, and that you only need a little bit of a flavour of a set, and then kind of believe that you're there. I don't know if you feel that there's that parallel sometimes with verticals.
Yeah, I mean, in the verticals, you're working with so little sometimes that as long as you can set the stage and give the audience, like you said, like a flavor, a taste of what it's supposed to be, I think it works. And it's similar to theater. Yeah.
So from that shoot, just have to ask, is there a favourite moment, one that you look back on that you love?
Oh, man, that's hard. I really loved the scene where, so my favorite emotion to portray on screen is anger. Sometimes I get the note from directors to stop being so aggressive and be like cutesy. They're like, you're being too aggressive, Christine. Like, be a little more innocent. I'm like, oh, but I'm angry. But I do love the scene where he is telling me, where Jared's telling me, these are the rules. Like, this is what you're going to do. And she's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, this is absolutely absurd. And I like that she's not just like, yeah, okay, sure. She's like, you're insane. Absolutely not. But I love the scenes also where we're in the big group settings with like Jared's rival, Mia, played by Bailey. Or not Mia, I'm Mia. The cheerleader played by Bailey, interacting with all those other characters was really fun.
She is rather awesome as well. And there's something about, I don't know what it is in verticals, but if you put a character in a high ponytail with a really big red bow, just like look out, because they're there to cause trouble.
Yeah, and she's got this perfect, like, evil smirk. I always told her if she was actually mad at me, I'd be terrified.
Are you able just to give people an idea as well? So when did you film that, and then how long until it comes out on someone's phone?
This one was really quick. We filmed it in December, like early to mid-December, and they got it out the week before the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Which was, gosh, I don't know when that was. February? Early
I think it's
February?
February.
Yeah.
Said the English
Whatever
person.
it was really quick, and they wanted it out before the Super Bowl for promotional aspects.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, very quick turnaround. Usually, I would say it's like 3 to 4 months, typically.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So other projects then. Since then, what have you been up to this year, and where should people look out to see you?
Yeah, well, I had another one drop on mydrama called thewolfsclaim. So if you're into werewolf romance, that's that. That was a fun shoot. And then I've filmed 2 verticals already this year. One was with Caylabrady and chrisquartuccio. I actually got to play the villain, which was really fun. Yeah, I
And you
was
got to
playing
go
the
bigger.
leader. Yeah. So I got to step into the villain cheerleader role. That was really fun. Kayla and Chris were so lovely. Loved working with them. And then I just wrapped one in New York with Dramabox with Fabianarnold, who was the best. Loved him so much. And that's a kind of like a revenge enemies to lovers, second chance romance. That one was really fun. And then I start another one next week with Reelshort.
That's amazing. And are you finding that you kind of travel all around for them? Because obviously you mentioned that you're in Atlanta, but have you just been to New York?
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Some of the projects will fly people. Sometimes they won't. I don't even submit to the ones that ask for a local hire because sometimes it's not worth it in terms of the pay. But if they're willing to fly people out to New York or LA, I'll absolutely submit. Or Canada. I know they're bringing people to Turkey now, all over the place.
Oh, so hopefully some really cool travel opportunities, almost going back to your roots of all your
Yeah.
diplomacy.
My parents and I joke about that. We're like, oh, you're going to end up seeing the world through acting, not your international relations career anymore. Like, yeah, I never would have expected that. But I do love working in Atlanta because I get to be, you can probably, I don't know if you can see my cat. I have 2
Oh,
cats and I love being at home with them while I'm working.
oh, I just want to thank you so much for this. Just it's been really lovely just talking to you and getting to know you a little bit. And just thank you so much for all your projects, but particularly I think for Bride for a Quarterback, because it is wonderful, and I think, you know, it's a well-written role, but you make it fantastic. So just thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that Vertical has been reaching people.